Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. And this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. But this time, I want to take a look at some Marvel Comics digests. Now, many of these I've shown before in another context, but I've since picked up a couple of others, so I thought I'd show. And I still think I have one or two others that have gone astray. And if so, I don't know where they are. So these were published in, of course, Marvel Comics digests, and these were published in 2017 and 2018, and they only did a few of them for during that time period. They were bi-monthly, and I've never seen any more than issue 8. So I think that may have been all that they did at this time. And of course, Marvel used to do, back in the 80s, do a lot of digest comics. Not nearly as much as DC or Archie. And to my knowledge, Archie is the only publisher still doing the digest-sized comics. And I think, that they must have had some agreement, a collaboration with Archie Comics, because there's a same format as the Archie double-sized comics, and it says right here, Archie Digest Special. So, plus most of the ads inside, with just a few exceptions, are Archie house ads. So I think that is a reasonable assumption. So here we have issue 1, first issue, Marvel Comics Digest, and this one, each one had featured different. Well, had a different set. This is starring the Amazing Spider-Man, so it's all Spidey. All Spidey. It's a nice cover, but these. And of course, they're all reprints, and I really wish that they had continued doing them. And I guess they even did some others that I didn't know about that weren't in this format, because I've seen have ads for other digest books, but I don't think they were done quite in this format, and I've never seen them before. I was surprised. I looked through it, and this, like, it starts off with an old Steve Ditko story, just a guy named Joe, and I think I may have done something with this one. And of course, Steve Ditko, Stan Lee, and this is when Ditko was good. He did some of his good stuff here at this time at Marvel. Although I really liked the stuff he did at Charlton as well, with Captain Atom and the Blue Beetle, before he got into doing the Charlton horror comics in the 70s. His work was not nearly as good then. Just not quite as slick. But you can see did some really nice page layouts. Of course, and this first story here, a guy named Joe, was they had a page cover gallery. So that first story was from The Amazing Spider-Man number 38. Then it follows up with two other stories from later in in the Amazing Spider-Man run of 154 and 150. Is that right? Correction, 156. It's small, hard to see. 156 and 157. This was with art by Ross Andrew, Len Wein doing the writing chores. And this is some nice stuff, even though it wasn't. Oh, come on. John Romita, who was my favorite. Ross Andrew was a very good long time on Spider-Man. It says, "The ghost that haunted Octopus. Dr. Octopus has returned from the dead." Ooh. Then the ghost. The second one, and even it involves Hammerhead. Some nice fun stuff. Then we have one here. Yeah, it's still Ross Andrew. And they progress through there. Who we have here? This is more contemporary. Because it shows some more of the stuff that they did. And now what we're coming to is Duel to the Death with the Vulture. And these were reprinted from Marvel Age. These are, I think, they're magazine size now. And I seldom saw these. Actually, I think that. But the only time I saw them were secondhand. So I don't know where they were being released through. And these were ones that are just as good, but intended specifically for some of the younger readers. And I wish they had given the dates on them. Marvel Age Spider-Man 1 and Marvel Age Spider-Man 6. Is it either 6 or 8? Doesn't matter. They were both stories involving the Vulture, and I think these had tended to be stories that were more complete, so, rather than the long running soap opera type stories. And more highly stylized art, but not bad stuff. It was pretty good. And then we get where he's with Electro. It's a different one. And did they have any? Yeah. Then they had one of the Spider-Man TV series. And I think this one here, some really nice artwork, was based on in conjunction with one of the Spider-Man TV series. I can't remember which one it was. Ultimate Spider-Man, something like that. I don't know whether that's what it was. And it had followed the stylization of the animated show. And then, right at the end, is they were doing a comic version of an episode from one of the animated shows. I can't remember which. I watched both, and even in reruns, and I don't know which. I can never remember which is which. But this was neat because this is one that had Deadpool in it. This is one where Spidey talked directly to the audience all the time, and I talked too long about that one. Then we have issue number 2. This was a newer pickup. And this is first issue that's, and it says first issue that's starring the Avengers. But it's issue 2 of Marvel Comics Digest. Nice cover illustration. And this one starts right off with the coming of the Avengers. It starts with Avengers number 1. All of them, these were doing that. They'd start with the oldest stuff and have a few issues retelling the origin of the Avengers and the first couple of issues of the Avengers. Then Jump is 235. Some written by Roger Stern and art by Bob Badowski. I think that's the right name. Not as good as John Buscema, but then 236, and this one happens to have Spidey in it. So this is from the 80s because it's got She-Hulk. And then they jump again to Marvel Adventures, the Avengers, number 9. A Not So Beautiful Mind. And again, I think these were ones that had different styles, and I think the story was a little more concise. And again, this one ends up, and it goes back to Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers. This was the comic in conjunction, and I don't remember seeing this at all, in conjunction with that earlier Avengers TV series, the one that was more artistically stylized. But it was very well written. But it wasn't, as far as I can tell, wasn't directly adapted from an episode, but was done in conjunction with it. But after that, what is an episode from the Avengers Assemble series, which came later. And again, it's drawing directly from, using visuals directly from the animated show, just with balloons, dialogue and balloons and captions, and they do a couple of those stories. Then we jump. Now, at the end of the issue, it says what's coming next, which is next issue of Thor, and I think I have that for issue 3. And I think I had that, but that's one that's gone astray. Because I vaguely remember reading it. Then, issue 5. This is another new pickup. Issue 5, and this is featuring the Avengers and Black Panther. And again, this kind of picks up with the old Avengers issues. This is with when the Submariner, with the Submariner, and they've already got Ant-Man and the Wasp involved in here, and you can see them when the Hulk and Submariner team up against and then the follow-up issue with the first recovery of Captain America by the Avengers when they find him frozen in the ice. Then it makes a jump into the 70s. It's the period that was pretty good. This is an ad for Thor and Hulk Digest, and so I don't know what the deal is. I've never seen that even now, so I don't know. That'd be cool. As we jump to Avengers 57, this is with the coming of the Vision. So this was right in the middle of stuff with Ultron, and that was cool. This is John Buscema art, so you know that's good. Because what's better than John Buscema? And I am going way too long. Followed up with Steve Englehart and Bob Brown, some Avengers, and we go again to one of the. Is that the replacements? No, it's not. Another stuff that I'm less familiar with, and again, it ends up with a storyline directly adapted from the animated series, using the animated visuals. Then we have issue 6, Avengers featuring Thanos. Look at that. It's a nice painted cover. Actually, I think it's a computer painted cover, really. And they're still in, that's it. Meet the Masters of Evil. Oh, early Avengers stuff. I like seeing that stuff with the early Avengers. Then it goes to an Iron Man story from Iron Man, because this is where we start reprinting part of a storyline by Jim Starlin. It appeared in several different titles, and I was his cosmic stuff. I was never a big fan myself of Jim Starlin's cosmic stuff. There's Thanos, and it even gets in here with Warlock and Captain Marvel. Of course, Starlin did a lot of those too, more dealing with Thanos, and they got Spidey and the Thing in there too. Goes along, and then another one tied to Avengers Assemble series, and then again with some comic versions of episodes. Then issue 7, the Avengers featuring Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's focusing on them, and it's reprinting stories, a couple stories, early stories from Tales to Astonish, with featuring Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then we see stuff with Kang, with the Avengers introducing Kang, and here he's bopping between Giant Man and Ant-Man, and of course all cool, fun stuff. Then just some Ant-Man stories, and this is I'm surprised, featuring Scott Lang as Astonishing Ant-Man. This is 35 cents. So that's clear back in the 70s yet. John Byrne art, and which is kind of surprising, because I didn't realize the Scott Lang character went back that far. I never read that stuff. And then here's some Yellow Jacket. This is Avengers stuff, and ooh, that's some interesting stuff. And again from the Avengers animated stuff shows. Then issue 8. This one is featuring the Amazing Spider-Man and Venom. And I was never a big fan of Venom, but it starts with an early Kingpin story. And I actually did an episode on this particular story from an issue of Marvel Tales that I had, and that was cool. John Romita Sr. doing the artwork. He's my favorite Spider-Man artist. I think he's even superior to Steve Ditko. And Spidey is more difficult to draw than one would think. And it jumps to start the early stuff with the black costume, the symbiote, until finally we get some Venom stuff. Some really cool stuff. Various artists. And then other things. Black costume. More recent stuff. And they had one tied to a different storyline with, there's Venom himself. Marvel Adventures featuring Venom. And Notes from the Underground. Oh, good. This is some really nice artwork in this one. And this was in conjunction with one of the animated shows. I can't remember which one. That's cool. But then that's all of the digest comics. But then something I just picked up, I just had ordered in the mail, is Stan Lee presents The Incredible Hulk #2. And I've got #1, and I've showed that before in regular paperback and in color. Volume 2. This is again reprinting much earlier stuff. This is from 1978, and the other one is also The Missile and the Monster. It's John Buscema artwork. These are stories from Tales to Astonish, reprinting some Tales to Astonish stories. Then The Humanoid and the Hero. So that was John Buscema. Yeah, this is still John Buscema stories. And then we get into and some of these were this is Gil Kane art for a couple of stories, and some of these were ones that I had in other reprint format. Oh, the Abomination. He's one of my favorite Hulk enemies. Is the Abomination, and I think they did a poor job on the Abomination in the movie, but I still enjoyed the movie. This is when we start. Then we start getting into Marie Severin doing the artwork with some Herb Trimpe doing the inks before Herb Trimpe before he takes over the penciling duties. Then with John Severin doing a lot of the inks, and some really good. And a lot of this is stuff that I have never read before. Some of it I have, but most of it is stuff that I haven't read. So I'm anxious to read this too. And that's it's all a lot of good reading fun. And I wish I could find the issues that I am missing. So that's all I had to share with you this time. That's went a lot longer than I intended. So thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe. Do leave your comments down below. Did you get the chance to get these great digest comics when they were being produced just a few years ago? Because it has a lot of cool reprint stuff and a lot of interesting stuff that I missed. So thank you for joining me. Like, share, subscribe. Do leave your comments down below. And remember, comics are art.